No, this hat frame will not work. It is not of the proper type.
I'll put this into my scrapbook so I can take a closer look at it later. Nothing else to... I won't find... I see nothing. Nothing else to... I've already... That isn't the best place for me to go at the moment. Nothing to see. I see nothing. It's locked fast. I don't need anything else. Nothing of interest. I can't see nothing to...
The hat frame must be of wire mesh, a type now out of fashion. No, this one will not suffice. No, this hat frame will not work. It is not of the proper type. Quite interesting.
Nothing else.
Regardez, mademoiselle.
I won't find anything else in... The door is locked. This door is tightly locked. I cannot take... Quite It's a thermometer. I have more important things to do than chat. I don't think he's... The door is locked. This door leading outside has been ordered. The door to the baggage car is locked. It's locked. This door is tightly locked. I don't need any... It's locked. Splendid. I can't get them to fit. I have everything I need to read the paper.
That is most pleasing.
I have all the pieces. All that remains is for me to assemble them properly. This is neither the... My heat source is now in place. Now on... The paper is extremely fragile. I've already pressed my luck collecting it. I need something to handle it with. No, that isn't right. I must put the paper between them first. The curling tongue.
Daisy Armstrong, c'est ça. I now know the real name of the dead man. And I know why he had to leave America.
Monsieur Poirot, I have documented that case in my scrapbook.
I remember well the case. 10 years ago, Colonel Armstrong was an Englishman. He married the daughter of Linda Arden, the most famous tragic American actress of her day. They lived in the city of New York and had one child, 3 years old, whom they adored. 2 men snatched Daisy from the arms of her nursemaid. The police were convinced that the young woman had some knowledge of the crime and questioned her relentlessly. The enormous ransom was paid, but 2 weeks passed with no word from the kidnappers. And then there was a break in the case. 2 brothers named Perkinson were identified by witnesses and tracked to a farmhouse somewhere outside of the city. The Perkinsons were arrested at the farmhouse where they and a woman not identified had been hiding. They were tried and convicted. At their trial, they implicated Cassetti, not only as the mastermind of the scheme, but the man who shot the little girl. The tearful testimony of the Perkinson brothers surprised many, but they admitted their guilt. And in America, the crime carries the maximum penalty. During the sentencing, the Perkinson brothers tried to make the escape. Jeffrey was captured, but not his brother Robert. And Cassetti had vanished without a trace. Madame Armstrong gave birth to a dead child born prematurely, and she herself died. The evening after the double funeral, a broken-hearted Colonel Armstrong returned to the family brownstone on Park Avenue. locked himself in his study, and shot himself. A body was discovered in the New York harbor shortly after Jeffrey Perkinson died in the electric chair. It was identified by a relative as Robert Perkinson. If he was a suicide or killed by Cassetti was never known. Cassetti was still at large, seen now here, now over there, and still more tragedy was to follow. The police refused to believe the hysterical denials of the poor girl, hoping she might lead them to Cassetti. In a fit of despair, the poor girl threw herself from a window and was killed. It was proved afterwards that she was absolutely innocent of any complicity in the crime. Cassetti was the man, there can be no doubt. He had used the same methods in the past, hired men down on their luck to do the dangerous work, but taking most of the ransom for himself, and always killing the victim if the police were closing in. He had many enemies, that one.
I cannot regret that he is dead.
I agree with you, mademoiselle.
Still, it is not necessary that he should be killed aboard one of our trains. There are other places.
Indeed. The investigation continues. And we progress, no? And now is the time for the assembling of the evidence. Collect all passports, gather information about our suspects, seek out any clues, follow every possible trail.
Goodness, it seems to have gotten extremely cold in here.
Mademoiselle, the engineer has just informed me. A rock from the avalanche, it struck the undercarriage of the coal tender. The pipe that carries the steam that heats the train is damaged. It must be repaired, or we will all freeze to death.
Could this be coincidence? Either way, I'd better look into it immediately. I would like a key to the baggage car.
Please, take one of mine.
Why do you have more than one key to the baggage car?
I often assist with the loading and unloading at the smaller stations. Sometimes I must loan a key to the handlers.
Good day, monsieur. It is locked. I believe the idea is not to waste the heat on the help, most of whom are residing in that coach. It is an idea that is quite out of date.
How can I talk to you when my teeth, they chatter so? How...
I'm sorry, I'm much too concerned for my wife's health.
Surely there is something someone can...
An avalanche, a murder, and now no heat.
Excuse me, please, mademoiselle. I will be happy to talk to you in a little while. I must attend to my duties, mademoiselle.
The door is locked. Very nice work. Now that the train has stopped, it's in no danger of falling. This door leading outside. The door to the back. The key fit perfectly. This contains nothing that would be of use to me. It looks like these contain vegetables, which comes as a bit of a surprise considering Klaus's penchant for flesh. This contains nothing that would be...
Mademoiselle, observe. The lid, it is secured with 4 nails. Quite interesting.
It's the cargo manifest. It shows that 3 casks were loaded in Belgrade, 1 of olive oil, 1 of honey, and 1 of vinegar. It also mentions a special security package that was loaded in Istanbul. I've heard of this honey. It's reported to be quite good. Salonika olive oil, a keg of Greece's finest. A keg of white wine vinegar. It looks terrible out there.
Quite interesting.
This seems to be a security door. It certainly lives up to its name. It's locked. Matteo, did you see Mr. Hardman come this way just now?
No, señorita. Señorita, unless we find a way to replace that broken pipe, our chances look very bad.
Every need... There's no power. I'll need to come up with a way to provide it with electricity. There's no power. I wouldn't want to get caught. I see nothing. I wouldn't want...
Quite interesting.
I've already... This is neither the time nor the place. I won't find... Nothing to see. The weather... I'm sure I can piece these back together. There, it is complete. I will carefully place it into my scrapbook for further study. It's locked fast. The door is locked. I can't see anything. I enjoy... Klaus's passport. I'll put it with the others. I can't see any...
Quite interesting.
The weather looks quite... This wash... I can't see... A good idea. I wouldn't... Nothing to see. It's locked fast. I won't do...
Señorita, unless we...
The Athens-Paris code. Monsieur, I have...
I need that to maintain an... Please! You must help me! My stomach!
Do you need a doctor?
No! I need food! I am wasting away!
I'm sure if you went to the restaurant car, the chef would fix you something.
You do not understand. Klaus, the chef de cuisine, is a master. His meat, his sauces, but even the tenderest meat must be chewed.
Yes, that is true.
I am a busy man. I work hard. I have little time for frivolity.
Frivolities?
It is. You will pardon me. I had not brushed my teeth since before the Great War. The dentists in Istanbul are fiends. This one, he does not cure me. No. He yanks my teeth out. But the new teeth he has made do not fit properly. Adjustments are needed. He sends them to Trieste. But the train will pass through Trieste in only 2 days. I can survive for 2 days on soup. Now we may be stranded here for a week or more. You remember 1929? It has happened. It can happen again.
Monsieur needs...
Meat.
And to chew it?
See. Once I have eaten, I will be in your debt forever. Ask anything of me.
Monsieur, today is your lucky day. I have teeth for you, but I want to borrow your hammer.
My hammer? But it is my special hammer. It keeps the pressure gauge on the boiler working. I would do anything for you, mademoiselle, after the service you have done for me. But I need that hammer to check the boiler pressure. If you can find me an adequate replacement, then it is yours.
I have something I think will be adequate to replace your magnificent hammer.
What a wonderful object. This will do nicely. Please take the hammer with my compliments. Please, help yourself, dear young lady. Anything you want. Help yourself.
I smashed the lump of coal into a fine powder. Even after a rescue train arrives, that avalanche will take some time to dig through. This must be where the steam is escaping. It's quite hot, even from a distance. All these doors are locked. All these doors... Fascinating. Better to let the dead rest. I've already...
Excuse me, please.
This door...
Oh, mademoiselle, use the little grace. Mademoiselle, observe.
The nails were loose. Peculiar. Well, what do we have here? I'd better put the lid back on for... This door leads... The woods look menacing and dangerous.
No, the snow. It is much too deep to cross without the snowshoes. Mille pardon, mademoiselle, but that choice...
The snowshoes are now quite usable. I saved the copper wire as well. I'm not sure what I expect to find wandering around out here. This looks like a dead... So many paths. It... A deer. I should leave her alone. She... This looks like a dead... This looks... The woods look... This seems... I've heard of this honey. It's... I don't think that's a... That isn't going to... The spout fits perfectly. The... I filled the... I can't take that now. I can't take... This contains...
I beg your pardon.
Remember, mademoiselle, you are the intruder here, not the wolf. It is senseless to harm the creature.
The gunshot seems to have frightened him off. This looks like This looks like... This looks like...
Remember, mademoiselle, you...
The gunshot seems to have...
The student of crime gives up on the case so easily? Mademoiselle, observe if you will the 400-foot precipice you are about to... Take care, mademoiselle!
The view from here...
A hut out here in the middle of nowhere.
A deer. I should leave her...
A shepherd's hut. Probably only used when the snow it is gone and he brings his sheep up to the high pasture.
The door is locked. This door...
I fear the padlock. It is far too sturdy for the hammer. One of the bars appears to be quite loose. Would you not say so, mademoiselle? One of the bars... Fantastique. What is this? A second pass key? So, the mystery of how a murderer may pass through the locked doors, it is now explained.
I won't do that.
Oh, the gap in the bars is too small to...
Nothing of interest. I can't loosen the pipe. An antique stove. I haven't seen one of these.
No, the snow, it is much...
Wonderful. That should hold. At least until we are rescued. Not a bad job, if I do say so myself. The heat is now restored. Now on to the matter of murder. Please give me the key to the Athens-Paris coach.
Here is mine. Keep it as long as you like.
Where is the key to the security room in the baggage car?
Mademoiselle, that key is kept only by the station masters.
Good day, monsieur. The door to the Athens-Paris...
The good detective knows even the most useful...
The key worked. Do you have a plan to the Athens-Paris coach?
Si, señorita.
Which rooms are occupied in this car?
The Greek doctor is the only passenger. He is in room 13. I have taken room 15 there to sleep in, and room 16 for my equipment. I hope it is all right. Pierre Michel is using room 11, the chef de cuisine is in 9, Lucien the waiter is in 1-2, the engineer is resting in 10 when not attending to the boiler, the fireman rests in 3-4.
What equipment?
I am a ham radio operator. Usually I carry the equipment in the baggage car. There is no time to use it when I'm on duty. And anyway, no power. But when we were stopped so suddenly, I thought to check it and found my telegraph key destroyed. I don't understand it. It was packed carefully. I brought the rest here to my room to keep it safe.
Did anyone pass between this car and the Calais coach last night?
Only Pierre. He came through and we talked for a few minutes about the snow and what it will do to the schedule.
When was this?
Sometime after 1 a.m. A few minutes only. We talked for 10 minutes or so. Then Michel fancied he heard a bell. He opened the doors between the two coaches and we both heard it plainly. A bell, ringing repeatedly. Michel ran to answer it.
You boarded the train in Belgrade?
Si, señorita.
Why were you so late? Your passenger must have boarded by himself, and you yourself almost missed the train.
But this is not so. I was preparing my car as it was being attached. I myself welcomed the Greek doctor and showed him to compartment 13.
Au revoir, monsieur. I found this button from your tunic in the American lady's compartment.
I have lost no button, mademoiselle. There must be some mistake.
Then perhaps it was dropped by the man she said was in her room.
There was no one there. The lady must have imagined it.
I need to ask you some questions about Monsieur Ratchet's death.
But of course, Mademoiselle Marceau, I will do anything I can to help.
When was the body discovered?
The valet of Monsieur Rachet, he tapped several times at the door this morning. There was no answer. Then, half an hour ago, Lucien, the waiter, came. He wanted to know if Monsieur was taking déjeuner. It was 11 o'clock, you comprehend.
Continue.
I opened the door for him with my pass key. But there is a chain, too, and that is fastened. There is no answer, and it is very still in there, and so cold. The window open, I borrow the engineer's hammer, and break the chain and go in. Monsieur Rachet was... it was terrible. The chain was fastened. It must have been suicide?
I'm sorry, Michel. A person does not commit suicide by stabbing himself 12 times.
No, I suppose not.
Did anyone call for you last night after we spoke?
Yes, I made up the bed of the young American gentleman, Mr. Rachet's secretary.
At what time?
It must have been about a half hour later.
1:45.
About that, yes. The English colonel from number 15 was with him. The colonel went back to his own compartment as I prepared the American gentleman's bed.
Did you see anyone moving about last night after we spoke?
The English colonel returned to his compartment. No one after that.
Did you leave the car at any time last night after Belgrade?
Well, I did go back to talk to Matteo, the attendant in the Athens-Paris car.
When was that?
Not long after 1.
How long were you gone?
A few minutes only. One of my bells rang. You remember, it was the American lady. She had rung several times. I hope the investigation will be concluded successfully and soon.